I worked. I
I
don't
don't know. I don't know.
start with zero.
Oh, it's funny, man.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll wait a little longer, and people are coming in. We can just whack people into.
They're starting to storm the wall now.
Just
Mhm. Can you guys hear me?
yes,
Yes. Loud and clear,
It's
buddy.
just weird. I can hear Paul, but I can't hear John.
Oh,
that's probably wisdom working
yeah,
for you.
that is.
Okay, yeah, that's
That's
great. That's
grace.
good. It's better than it's better than the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Grace, man, for sure.
Yeah. You're on the beam if that's the way it's going.
Tuning him out automatically.
Just-
Like the rest of the world. Like wives, ex wives, kids. Tune out dad.
And it's wow. All right. Well, you want to start? Who's running it today anyway? Or
Miss Volkmann is here.
oh, Miss Volkmann. Oh, Miss Volkmann, next to the furnace,
Okay, so I start?
the fire of truth. Yeah.
Totally. Okay.
Walk into the fire.
Welcome everyone to the reflections on the 12 steps. Just a friendly announcement. This is not an AA meeting. This is just one member's view on the exact nature of the wrong as described on page 64 of the big book and the solutions contained within. This is not an all share meeting, so shares there will be, but actually a question and answer meeting with Paul. I have chosen today from Into Action on page 72,
Oh,
the last paragraph.
okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. This is perhaps difficult, especially discussing our defects with another person. We think we have done well enough in admitting these things to ourselves. There is doubt about that. In actual practice, we usually find a solitary self appraisal insufficient. Many of us thought it necessary to go much further. We will be more reconciled to discussing ourselves with another person when we see good reasons why we should do so. The best reason first. If we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. Time after time, newcomers have tried to keep to themselves certain facts about their lives. Trying to avoid this humbling experience, they have turned to easier methods. Almost invariably, they got drunk. Having persevered with the rest of the program, they wondered why they fell. We think the reason is that they never completed the house cleaning. They took inventory all right, but hung on to some of the worst items in stock. They only thought they had lost their egoism and fear. They only thought they had humbled themselves, but they had not learned enough of humility, fearlessness, and honesty in the sense we find it necessary until they told someone else all their life story. Here, stop.
Yes. Well, there's a lot in there for sure. Obviously, this is concerning the written inventory of step four. And, we get a lot of, synthesizing hybrid new ideas, but it's best just to follow the directions. So writing is a good idea. Yeah. And doing the four columns. And if you are new, and I find it very helpful, the Joe and Charlie stuff, and you can actually download a printout of a four-column inventory. And it's almost like a formula. Once you can do a topic or a person from the first column to the fourth column, you can do 500 of them or 1,000 of them. Yes, you have the formula and you just put the information in that sequence. Yes. And then see what happens. And they're very similar, the resentment, the fear, and looking at our sexual behavior, they have a fifth column, basically, which is to when you see how it went, how would you like to see it go again, in the future? And we come up, or there's molded a new ideal that we want to live by. And so we ask that power to give us the strength to do it. And so the fifth column is an adjunct to the basic inventory. Yeah. So for the sexual relationship part. Yeah. So here they're telling us, well, I'll just read it too. Having made our personal inventory, and the personal inventory, hopefully, in a way, becomes quite impersonal. Yeah, that's why they talk about the business and like a business inventory. Like if you're the manager of the store, your attitude about what's in the store is going to be different than if you're the owner of the store. Yeah. So if you're in a position of managing or living a life, but it's not completely yours, you can see things that will be blinded by the ownership. This is the beauty of recovery. I hope it leads you to see that after you've done the inventory and you've done the amends process and you've seen your role in things, that you come to realize there's a larger role in things, which is self's role. And that self manifested in various ways is what has defeated us. And you become convinced of that. Yeah. Because that view is going to hold true for the rest of your recovery, or hopefully the rest of your life. Yeah. It's that profound in my case. I stopped looking for any answers about the exact nature of the wrong when I had seen it, obviously, and it was called self. Yeah. And that happened around 30 years ago in sobriety. So I was in sobriety, but then a clarity came over me around 6 years or 7 years. And yeah, I saw self as something foreign to me. I felt it. And it's never really changed since then. And it's brought about a great relief. And when you get relief from something, you can really sort of have knowledge about it. While you're under its influence, you're blind a lot. But when you have been relieved of something, you get to a lot of knowledge formulates about that something that was bonding you. Yeah, this bondage of self. And in that, you can be useful. You can share it with others, and they probably have similar feelings and experiences, but it just hasn't been uh, directly linked to the idea of self. Yeah. And so this is one of the points of this these meetings is to the way I look at everything else in the program is from the exact nature of the wrong. Yeah. And then certain things that are written in the book I don't agree with because I do not believe you manufacture your own misery. I don't. I believe you're sort of like a factory and you have the ability to manufacture a lot of things, but it's what products you're going to manufacture in this factory is based on who's running the factory. And when self runs the factory, misery is produced. Yes, sooner or later, to the point you'll become completely demoralized in a pitiful, fearful state. That's incredible. Yeah. So uh, if you have a better idea and it's working for you, great. But if you don't, maybe stay open to the possibility uh, of the importance of having a distance between you and self, so to speak. Because if you live life as a self, mm, it's probably going to be proved unsuccessful, as it says. Any life run on self-will will hardly be a success. So they're making a sort of hardly like it could be really bad. So any life run on self-will is very clear. Yes, there's a will, and that will is directed and led, and then you do things. Yes, through that will. Who or what is directing and leading that will in you? Are you being directed by the head alone? Yeah. Are you taking advice and directions from the head? That would be a life run on self-will. Yeah. The problem resides in the mind and it talks to you as you. Yeah. And it's not. So recognizing that there's a distinction between us and self is just going to become an incredible uh, space maker around the relief from the bondage of self, literally. I just don't see how you're going to be relieved of the bondage when you're identified as the bonding agent. I just don't get it. Yeah. It just can't happen. You say one thing, but the whole energy is going the other way. Yeah. It's like I wanted to speak about this lady, a story. I don't know if it's still in the book, The Freedom from Bondage. This was one of the big ones because it has that prescription, not description, but the prescription of when you have a resentment that you really want to let go of, but some aspect of you doesn't, and then you pray for that person or those people to have what you want, and even more of it, even if you don't mean it, you just do it, and there's results occur. Yeah, that was a very profound story for me in the big book, whatever, whichever generation of the big book it was. That was because it has so much subtlety in it. Because the lady had a story that she was listening to that she would do anything to get rid of the resentment she had about her mother. Yes. And it fueled the drinking and this and that and that. And then she gets sober and she starts realizing if she doesn't have something occur to around this resentment, it's going to kill her. It's going to bring her out to drink again. Yeah. And then she realized that something in her was making a lot of hay out of that resentment. It was using it as excuses to all her relationships, and the blame would constantly being put, projected to the mother and stuff. And so something in her had a great value in this resentment, even though she was believing, she was hoping that the story that she was holding on to, like a life preserver, would be that she would do anything to get rid of it. But no, the majority vote in her at that time wanted that resentment. It was like the golden calf. It was like it gave her so many excuses and shit about her life. Yeah. So she had an awakening in a way, being sober. And she says, what? This thing's going to lead me back to drinking. And for her, drinking was going to be, lead to death. So she was like, hey, I got to do something about this resentment. Yeah. And then she was in that dental office or something, and she saw that magazine, and there was a little title on the front about a clergyman saying, if you have a deep resentment that you really want to be taken away, follow these suggestions. And she did, and she got relief from that bondage. Yes. But that story is a stereotypical strategy of the head. Yeah. It has you believing you would do almost anything to get rid of something that it does not want to get rid of. Yeah. And you're walking in this sort of delusion as it's feasting on you. Yeah. The parasite is feasting on you. And you're believing that, oh, yeah, if I could, I would. But no. Yeah. You're under a delusion. You're in a state of not knowing the priority of what's in you about life. Yes. And so you have a little story going, but the narrative doesn't fit what's actually happening because there's a deeper story being told by the parasite through us. Yeah. So I thought it was such a great thing because resentment is being used as like being milked by the head. Yeah. It loves to neutralize or neuter what's happening by using what's happening just to remember something you thought happened. Yeah. So you're constantly re-feeling shit. That the event, even if there was a real event that had happened, the event doesn't happen, but you relive it over and over and over again. So it keeps you in that bondage. Yes? Like means to do again, and centeria, something in Latin, is to refeel. So the whole resentment is a refeeling. Yeah. Now that feeling could come at this moment could be completely made up. Yeah. So you look at something, and when you see that something, you see something else. You see the past. Yeah. And then it's resent. And the same thing. Isn't your thoughts mostly the same shit? Yeah. And always somehow centered on you in a lot of ways. Yeah. Even when it's centered on someone else, it's in relation to you. So if there's like an attraction going on, it's this head's idea of you sucks up a lot of interest and attention. It just does. And if you notice, there was a horror movie called They Live, where this guy, it was a wrestler guy on, and he was the star of the movie. And he had these pairs of glasses. When he put it on, he saw the aliens of the people. Yeah. When he didn't put them on, they looked like humans, but he just put them on. He didn't have to, he'd see that they weren't people. So this is sort of like a new pair of glasses. Yeah. If you're in an AA meeting at times, there is a strong orbiting of something around people's head. Yeah. It's almost like an energetic cocoon spun around it. And it's just orbiting around me. It's just insane. That's why just helping put up the chairs brings you relief. Yes. Listening to the other people for the first time in that hour, having your attention be drawn to what other people are saying. Yeah. This is why it's the way it is for us in this program. It's to pull our attention and interest out of that fucking orbit of I, me, my. Yeah. And when you do, when you break through the orbit, you feel better. You do. You get a free sample, what it could be like. Not as this. This is not going to adapt to the freedom from bondage of self. It'll try. Yeah. It wants to keep pulling the attention in. And how it does it, it makes all of its activities yours. And because you wouldn't follow Stanley's life if you're Paul. You wouldn't. But if Stanley's life was presented in your head as yours, you'd be an adherent, a devoted adherent to it. Yeah. Because it's always about us. It's like it's the magnet of the attraction, pulling the interest and attention, yeah, away from the conscious contact to an unconscious contact with Paul. This is the bondage of self. Yeah. You want freedom from bondage? See, you're not self. They go hand in hand. You're not going to have freedom from the bondage of self as self. That hope, that belief or hope for freedom is a form of bondage. Yeah. So, yeah, to me, all this stuff is awesome, but I just want to bring it back to that same point. Because if that thing that's going on in you is seen as you, it's going to be hard to have a freedom from that bondage. Yeah. When you recognizing it's not you, there's a possibility to free the interest and attention, to have it go somewhere else. Yeah. And hopefully that somewhere else is going to bring the faith. And instead of having faith in finite self, you'll start to have faith in the infinite. And maybe it will look like you're gonna have faith in the program for that day. Yes. You're going to go to the meeting, even though your head says you got to do tons of other shit. You're going to go to the meeting instead. Yeah. And then you'll see what that faith in the right hands can reap, what harvest you can reap from the faith in the right hands, the faith in the infinite, because we fucking completely know what it's like to have faith in finite self. Do you think it's going to change? Do you think that something that has failed miserably is suddenly going to be successful? Yeah. The dead horse is dead. It's not going to be revived. It's time to get off and ride something else. Yeah. And the better way is just this. Admit the condition you find yourself in, ask for the help, and follow the suggestions. Yeah. You can have the same principle can produce 1 day of sobriety, or it can produce 38 years of sobriety. It's the same principle. Yeah. Someone who hasn't been sober for 27 years goes to 2 meetings that 1 day, does not drink for that 1 day. The principle worked. It didn't just work for 1 day. Yeah. It can work for 38 years. Yeah. The principle and the way of life is sound. Just get the clear diagnosis. Yes. Stop calling its manifestations yours, at least. You can catch yourself. And when you go into the narrative, my fear, my resentment, maybe pull back and go, wait a minute, let's take the my out of it. I bet you're going to have a much lighter day when the shit that you're seeing isn't called yours. Yeah. And then you can do a business-like inventory on it because they're not your manifestations. How are you going to do a business-like inventory when you're the complete sole owner of it all, of the store? You're not. Who wants to admit you bought 500 Elephant Bell jeans that had been sold for 6 months? Aren't you just gonna avoid looking at that, aren't you? Of course. How can you be fearless? Yeah. If if you're relying on something that's based on fear and anxiety, how is that going to happen? How are you going to live a life not shutting the door on the past, nor regretting it, if you believe everything you were driven to do, you did it when you were out there? Yes? You'd be a psychopath if you could just fucking forget it. Yeah? If you're the doer of the shit, for you to have not regret would be, you'd be a psychopath, a sociopath. Yes, in this society. so, so yes, into action. Faith without works. All right, so hey, having made our personal inventory, what shall we do about it? Yeah, you're going to share it, hopefully, with someone else. And also remember, when you share it with someone else, the higher power is there also. It's always a trinity. Yes, it's you, your sponsor, and also that juice, that grace. Yes, I feel. We do about it. We have been trying to get a new attitude, a new relationship with our Creator, and to discover the obstacles in our path. What am I reading? Is this the one? It's great. Yeah. First of all, you'll stop trying to get a new attitude and you'll just follow the program, the steps, and you'll have a new attitude. Because you're looking for a new attitude is going to be like the old employer is just like the new employers just as like the old employer. Yeah. You looking for the new attitude, you're going to get a same old attitude. Just do what we do and there'll be a new attitude produced. Yeah. That's beautiful, though. We have been trying to get a new attitude, a new relationship with our Creator, and to discover the obstacles in our path. We have admitted what the trouble is. Yes, have you? What is the trouble? We have admitted uh, certain defects we have ascertained in a rough way. We're just trying to make it a little clearer. Yeah. The rough way doesn't work. Yeah. If it starts out as a rough way, great. But if it keeps staying a rough way, no bueno. I got to read this. We have admitted certain defects. Yeah, please stop admitting them as yours because they're not. Yeah, yeah. The defects that are appearing in your character are not yours. They are appearing in your character from a foreign thing. Yeah. You want to picture it as a parasite, demonic possession, whatever, a disease, but inherently it's not you, is the most important. Yeah. We have admitted certain defects we have ascertained in a rough way. So we're just trying to clean that rough way up, yes? You can't say resentment, some of them are mine, some of them are selves. No, resentment is a manifestation of self in one's life. That's what it says in the big book of AA. Yeah. This isn't like part ownership, it's no. It is or it ain't. Yeah. We have admitted certain defects we have ascertained, in other words, we come to realize in a rough way what the trouble is. See, it's still vague though. Why do you want to stay with the vagueness? It says in our book, people who are going to come after the first people are going to add on to it. Yes? They're going to be used just like the first people were used. Yeah? To add on to the recognition of what has defeated us and move out of the rough vagueness of it into a specific, specific recognition of the foreignness to us from what has defeated us. Yeah. You can't get more specific than that. We have ascertained in a rough way what the trouble is. We have put our finger on the weak items in our personal inventory. Now these are about to be cast out. Yeah. This requires action on our part, which, when completed, will mean that we have admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our defects. Yes, they're not yours. That's the nature. Yeah. The traits may be many, but the nature is it's foreign to us. The nature is that it is foreign to our nature. The response, this requires action on our part, which, when completed, will mean that we have admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our defects. This brings us to the fifth step in the program of recovery mentioned in the preceding chapters. Yeah, this is when we share it, yeah, with another person and with the spirit, let's say. And you know what? You're doing a great service for the person who's going to listen to it. Yeah, because when you do the steps, you see things a certain way. When you help other people do the steps, you see the steps in a different light. Yeah. Yes. This sounds like, did we read this in the beginning? It sounds totally different than, maybe I'm on the wrong page, but I like this. So this is perhaps difficult, especially discussing our defects with another person. We think we have done well enough in admitting these things to ourselves, and he basically says that doesn't work. Yeah, so write the thing, share it with another person. Yeah. When you do, go home, take an hour, review what you've been doing, first, second, third, fourth step. Have I done the best I can? I think so, pretty much. Okay. And then, all right, now then you go to 6 and 7. Yes, which is going to be one of the biggest active steps, I feel, if you stay sober. So 6 and 7, hey, I'm entirely ready to have this power have all of me, the good and the bad. Yeah. So let's just throw the whole thing. Yeah. There you go. And what's going to happen after this decree, after this commitment, you are going to see the activity that used to defeat you. And when you do, bring it to step 6 and 7. Don't try to reshape it. Let the higher power reshape it. Just bring it. Yeah, if it's dripping, don't clean up the floor. Just bring it to the recycle, throw it in there. Yeah. And I feel if you have a sense that something did for you what you couldn't do for yourself by striking you sober, then there's faith in your movement towards 6 and 7. Yes, there is faith because you have lived a demonstration that a power that is greater than you can do for you what you can't do for yourself. That's like hot faith, baby. Apply it when you bring 6 and 7 to the recycling. You put it in, just like when we put out the garbage. I don't stay up all night waiting to see if a garbage man comes. It's sort of like my job is just to put it in the can, put it out in the street. That's it. Yeah. 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 What would waiting up all night seeing if someone would come? That would demonstrate I have a faith in the head because the head told me, are they going to pick it up? Yes. Yes. So, as it says on page 53, you will recognize faith had something to do with everything that happens at all times, basically. Yeah. So, when you're doubting the garbage man, you're having faith in the head. That's producing the doubt of the garbage man. Yes or no? If you're doubting the garbage man is not going to pick it up, that's faith in the head. That's saying that. Yeah. Even though he's picked it up for like last 8 years, you still believe he's not coming today. That's faith. Yeah. If you saw the faith of that, would you also see that it's misplaced? Yes, I believe you would. Yeah. And then what would you do? Yeah, ask that power to put the faith in itself, the infinite, and drain that bank of interest from the finite bank of self. Yes. When you recognize the faith in all the matters, you'll see what you've been relying on. Yeah. And you may be surprised how much reliance on self has been going on without you knowing it. Yeah. And now that you know it, something triggers. Yes. And we've got a beautiful process called step 6 and 7, where the old shit can be replaced with new stuff. Yeah. You just got to bring it to the goodwill. Yeah. Just got to bring it there. Yeah. So I really like this reading. And it's just good, maybe you can do it on an app or something, but it's best to write it. Just follow the suggestions as they were put out. Yeah. Go home, take the hour, read it. Yeah. Make the proclamation. I'm entirely ready to have all of me. Yes. It's sort of like a more committed third step in a way. Yeah. Because you're learning more. You're seeing more. So you're making another third step. Hey, take all of me, the good and the bad, and do with me what you will. Yes? So we're proclaiming the spirit of recovery, which is reliance on a higher power. It's not a self-help program. So now we've got some juice in it. We may not have had juice when we made the third step decision, but now in this 6 and 7 decision, there's a lot of juice because you've been getting results. Yes. You've coming out of the hole that nothing works and you're realizing something's working. Yeah. So this is a recommitment of the spirit of the program instead, so it doesn't veer off into a self-help program. Yes. Where you start thinking, all right, I'm ready to manage my life again and get with it. Let's go to the gym and stuff like that. That's all great. Yeah. But the problem doesn't reside in the bicep, it resides in the head. Yeah. You can work out as much as you like. The head's incubating these crazy fucking ideas. Yeah. So this is the spirit of the fourth step and then the fifth step. And I felt one of the most powerful things for me was to reveal some of the secrets of my life because somebody said you should take advantage of the situation. You're going to have someone there. You can finally say something that you vowed you would never say aloud until you passed away. Yeah. And so I did. I had a little thing that was like the crown of the demented king there. And I took advantage of it. And it was so funny. The guy yawned, so he didn't hear what I said. So I had to say it twice in like a 30-second period where I had vowed I would never say it aloud in this life. I said it twice. And I'll tell you, the size it was in my head was unbelievable how it shrunk when I talked to someone about it. It was like it was really like a mountain back to a molehill. It was amazing. And I just didn't see the phenomena. I got the principle. Yeah. You do not want to store shit in the head because what you stored and you realize, oh, that's pretty light. I'll be able to move that. After about 4 years, it's like a ton. It's just, yes, yeah, and yeah. So I dumped that stuff, which was great. Yeah, really dumped it because it was I had to have a lot of security, and I had to pay storage for a while with that thing. It was great. I had it in there since I was 11, so it was like 36. I had paid like 25 years of monthly storage. It looked huge. It did. When I looked at it, it looked huge. When I said it, it shrunk. Unbelievable. So yes, I would take advantage of that. Yeah. Yeah. So all right. Thank you. Hey, Miss Volkman, thank you. That was right out of the furnace. The furnace of truth.
Yeah, the furnace is always on now.
I like it, man. It is. It's like lava. It's awesome. It's like
Yeah, it's true. It looks the lamp itself is not so spectacular. The light much more.
oh yeah, it's incredible. It's really like could be used in a movie. Yeah. One of those near-death experiences. It was like a furnace. It called me. I was afraid of the lovely suit I had on, but I knew I wouldn't be burned. And I walked through the furnace of truth. All that I wasn't was burned off of me, as if it had never been there to begin with. Yes. Yeah. All right. Anyone? Yes?
Yes, I don't see any hands up yet.
Oh, that's great. That's a beautiful reading. I like that very much.
Yeah.
And the thing, if you can, I don't know if they have the freedom from bondage in the new ones, but it's worth seeing the story of that lady because it captures one of the major blind spots concerning the disease. What the disease values and what it talks to you as what you value are completely different. Yes. Yeah. This is why you get in a weird cognitive dissonant tug of war. So you're proclaiming you want to get rid of something while a large percentage of you is holding it very tight. Yes? Yeah. And without noticing it, it'll go on and on. The tug of war will just go on and on. And you'll just be fed a narrative about what it is, and it ain't near the truth. Yeah. So again, all right, then let's start saying good. Oh, we have Denise. Hey,
Yeah, we have two now, Denise and then Natalie.
all right.
Good morning, Paul. Thank you for your share today, and thank you everyone for doing service. Denise and I have alcoholism. I had a question. When you're getting ready to share this inventory, can you tell us what it looked like for you when you found the right person, or what that was like when you were looking to share that? How you knew that that person would be open and available for you? Thank you.
Well, the first one, it was in a way the wrong person. So it was very young. I was moved in through the steps quickly, but I hadn't really caught up with the situation. Yeah. So I was really, really out to lunch. So somebody had appointed themselves to be my sponsor, and he hadn't actually done a thorough inventory himself. He didn't even have the sexual part of it when he presented it to me. Yeah. So when I did that inventory, I did not see my role in things. So it was pretty dry. But that had great value, literally. But I didn't see the connection between the first column, like Wendy leaving me, and my role in it. I didn't see that. The emphasis was in a habit of looking at Wendy, yeah, or whoever it was I thought had slighted me or did something, with an incredible blankness towards my role. Yes. Yeah. All right. So this guy was working with me, and I really hadn't any idea what was going on, but I was waking up in the meetings and stuff. Yeah. And then I heard about these different people at a meeting shared about they had been at this big book seminar, and they were both bright. Yeah, you could see the light in them, and it really got my attention. And they said that these guys named Joe and Charlie, and they would come to Sacramento once a year. They were from the East. And man, so I didn't hear anything about it for a while. And then one night I was at a meeting, and so the secretary says, "We have applications for the Joe and Charlie seminar." So I ran right up there and grabbed one. Two. I was hoping my girlfriend would go, but she didn't. And so I went to see Joe and Charlie. Yeah. And they did and I think Saturday morning was like a 4-day thing. They went over the fourth step, and I sort of got it. Got the connection between the first column and the fourth column, my role in things. And I ran back to my motel and I did an inventory. And that was the first inventory, really. Yeah. I did an inventory, wrote it out in about an hour and a half, went back, and I was just floating because I I I was blessed with so much understanding from Joe and Charlie's. It just blew my mind. I was a different person when I left that place. And everyone was super enthused, where a lot of times that's not happening at meetings. Everyone was super enthused about sobriety and shit, and it was like on fire. So I went I went the next 2 years or so, 3 years when they came to town, but then I had enough, yeah. And then I met a guy named Cy P, and he became my sponsor. And I did a very good inventory with him that first year. Yeah. And there was no wrong with the other guy. He was just a blind trying to lead the blind. Yeah. He was just as blind as I was. But Cy had had many years, and we did the fifth step together. And yes, very powerful. And he described how he saw it and everything. And he he communicated to me right out of the book about what to do. Yeah, so I followed it. And then that was one of the many big waves, but one of the first big waves of recovery is when you see your rolling things. Yeah. And it didn't take long after I saw my rolling things to really have the next chapter of revelation, which is seeing something else's rolling things, which was called self. Yes? Yes. Yes. So to me, the inventory didn't stop there. I didn't have to do another inventory, large one, but I looked at it completely different when I saw what has defeated me was self. Yes. And that I was in the camp of the driven. I was not in the camp of the driver. Yes. Yeah. And that was a big shift. And that shift, uh, there hasn't been any shift concerning that shift for years now. Yes. But at the time, it was a very big shift. I saw it as foreign to me. And when I saw it as foreign to me, the possibility of being free from it became available. And then I had a little that Grace gave me a scan of my life in a very short period of time, like a 12, 15-year scan. And I saw basically most of my life, I was trying to get out of self as self. Yeah. I was identified as what had defeated me. And that to me is the crux of the bondage of self, for sure. And here we are. Nothing's changed after 30 something years, and we're still spouting off on it. I don't care really. There are so many people who can break down the book and everything fantastic, but in a sense, I don't care. I want to get to the exact nature of the wrong. And in my experience, this is the exact nature of the wrong. And when people talk to me and they don't see that, I really don't, I lose interest quickly. Yeah. It's just that simple. And yeah, it wasn't the greatest thing to make friends and stuff in the program, but somebody had to do it. Who wants to have a rough way concerning one of the most important aspects, the exact nature of the wrong? Who wants to have a vague sense of that? Yeah, when you can be quite specific and clear. Yeah. Who would want to tolerate, oh, let's just have a vague idea as we go along? Of course not. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what happened with me. But the spirit of service, the guy who wanted to be my sponsor was in the spirit of service, but he was in a similar condition that I was. We were both out to lunch and blind. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it went. But the willingness was there. And when it says go to any length may be no length. Yeah. It's not like nothing like when you went to any length to get a drink. I mean, that was insane. Any length in recovery is pretty easy, usually, tell you the truth. So yeah. I just stayed in the program, which was great till bells rang and I woke up. But luckily, I was struck sober, and that momentum lasted for the first few years of recovery. I mean, I didn't had no questions about God or anything. I could care less. I was so stoked to be relieved of the day-to-day grind of being a fucking hopeless addict alcoholic, man. I was stoked completely. I loved meetings. I just loved the whole thing. Yeah, I did. It was like, man, it was like coming out of a fucking, like John in Florida was saying they had a horrendous rainfall. It was like coming out of that kind of rain and getting freaking relief and then finding you're in an incredible vignette. You're meeting interesting people and all this shit's going on. You just ran in to get out of the rain, but you found so much in where all these other people ran in to get out of the rain. It was awesome, really. And of course, people are people, But man, I was so happy, and I am still so happy. It was incredible. The bondage of self was there's no scale that can weigh that. Yeah. Because hell is not a place, it's subjective. Hell is a subjective experience. Yeah. People are in hell in Bel Air right now or Beverly Hills. They are. Even though they're in heaven like conditions, they're in a hell in the head. Yeah. All right. So thank you. All right. I think Natalie's next. Yeah.
Yes, Natalie, and then we have Sean.
All right.
Hi, Paul. Yeah, it was interesting. For some reason today during your talk, I went to there are those two that are constitutionally incapable of being honest. And wow. I I I when I came in and I heard that read at every meeting, I used to think, oh, that must mean some people in here are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, but I didn't think I was one of them. I believed I was truthful and genuine and sincere, but in reality, I was a fraud, deceptive, and incongruent.
Yeah.
And that's because of self, right? Is that self driving me? I don't.
Well, yes. And the old timers knew you were full of shit. So we weren't fooling anybody.
Just
Literally,
myself, yeah.
just ourselves. Exactly.
Yeah.
This thing that plays God usually is in a very small arena. Us, yeah. Other people see it very clearly, but we think we got it going on. It's just it's a delusionary factor that keeps on diluting. And I believe it has you in a state of being constitutionally unable to be honest, but you'll find out that you can be when the innermost self uh, responds to the situation. You'll hear a very honest take inside. Yeah. But I think the head has us believing we're unconstitutionally unable to be honest. I don't believe that. Yeah. I believe people who are very damaged headwise and stuff may fall in that category, but a lot of people who are acting as if they can't grasp something have the ability to grasp it. It's just something is blocking it. Yeah. And I would say that's the parasitical movement. Yeah. Something is making us dumb about a lot of topics. It literally is. Yeah. So, yes. I knew with people, if you've met people who've had brain damage, if an accident, they put out an energy. You can feel it. Yeah. And sometimes I would feel uncomfortable until someone told me that they had had an accident or something like that. Yes. Yeah. The the energy is different when the brain's gotten severely damaged. It's just the way I feel it goes. Yeah. So yes, is that it? All right, let's go with Sean. Sean.
Hey, Paul, nice to see you. Great talk today. I just wanted to mention that the freedom from bondage exercise. When I came in 11 years ago, I was about 8 months sober, and I had done my fourth and fifth step and six, and was working with seven. And there was one resentment, just one, that just wouldn't let go. I mean, it was, yeah, and it was killing me, literally, from the inside. It was just, and so I did that prayer thing, that exercise. Every time the thought came up, or it came up in conversation, whatever, I said the prayer, and I didn't mean it. I did not mean it. But somewhere in between weeks 1 and weeks 2, I was at my girlfriend's house and sitting on the couch, and that particular topic came up, and I said my prayer, and I didn't mean it when I was saying it. However, moments later, it was like I was on puppet strings. I was pulled to my feet, and every bit of the whole thing, I felt it go from my toes. It was stripped right out of the top of my head. It was the most profound spiritual experience I've yet to date had. And I've had some good ones, but that one, and then when I sat down, what took the place of 40 years of hatred, fear, and what took its place was compassion. It was just wow. I get goosebumps every time I talk about it. And I thought to myself, I can't imagine what that particular guy had gone through in his life that would have directed him to behave and do the things that he did to me and my family. And yeah, I just wanted to share that because it is effective. When all else fails, give that thing a try because it works.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. That's one of the great things about recovery. It works. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So I applied that a lot of times. I had this my first fairy princess.
Yeah.
She was 3 months sober. I was 6 months sober.
Oh, yeah.
We both were enabled to have a viable relationship.
Yeah.
He dealt with it by taking a lot of naps.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we tried to have this weird thing, and then she broke it off and stuff. And I remember they having an AA party in the day in a nice town called Sausalito, where I live. And I went there, and Wendy had met a new guy, and I was in the party, and then they walk in, and I swear it felt like a spotlight appeared right on him, and like rose petals were coming out of the sky as they walked in, and everyone saw the queen and the king, and it was unbelievable. It was heavy duty for me, and I had to leave. I did. And I went home and I started applying this because I had read the Freedom from Bondage, and I started to applying it because I was thinking ill of her and her
Yeah.
husband to be. I was in there. The thoughts were
I'm
nasty.
sure.
So I took off and I used it, and it turned the tides in less than a week. But I
Yeah.
used because every time their names would come up, I would greet it with that prayer,
Yeah.
and it worked. It
Yeah.
changed the acidic to the alkaline. It was pretty good.
Yes.
And I've used it a few times in my life
Yes.
in recovery. Yes, it's powerful.
It really
And the
is.
emphasis is you don't have to mean it. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Say it. No, it don't have to mean it. And because something is working in us, maybe an unseen agent, let's call it grace, but it is
Yeah.
because you completely believe you're not going to do something and then you do it. Yeah. It's incredible. So, yeah, thank you. Thanks for
You
that.
bet.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I definitely, yeah, it works. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I think we'll end then the meeting. Sean, that was good. Good, nice note to end. Yes. And is that story still in the book, The Freedom from Bondage? It is great. Yeah. It's a great story. Michael Stacy, as always. Yes. Remember the us, there's that tradition. Uh, a loving power is expressing itself in our group conscience. Yep. Our group conscience can beat what you think as an individual is unbeatable. It can. Yeah. The we can always outweight and outlast the me. Yeah. It's just, this is the point. Remember, we are 100. Yeah. We is an important aspect of this program. Huge. Yeah. All right, Kathleen, nice to see you as always. John in Florida, yes. Chris B, always. Ruby Rose, one of our missionaries. She's still in Kansas. That's good. Doing the good work. Peter in Tucson. John in the UK. Eileen in Tucson. Teresa, I can just see the top of her head. It's really interesting. Nice to see you. Paul, the UK. Rico, man of his word. Diona, just stay here. Joseph, yep. Joseph, yes, nice to see you. Walter, Sean, Travis, Mia, Miss Folkman, she's the keeper of the furnace. Yes. You ever see a movie called The Keep? It's a strange, I recommend it, but it's very weird. By a guy named Michael Mann. Remember him? They fucked it up a lot, but it's a trippy movie, and it has something like this. The furnace of Miss Volkman. We got John's, wow, S24 plus Zoom. Well, that's pretty cool. Sounds like a new car. Vlad, Portugal. Nice to see you, Vlad. Hey. Robert Crossman, yes, nice to see you guys. Thank you so much. Great day, I hope, for everyone. And if not, it will be. So I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everybody.
See you
Thank
Saturday.
you, Paul.
Thank you,
for your
Paul.
lovely service.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Michael.
Paul.
Thanks,
Peace,
Paul.
Bye,
Thank you,
y'all.
Paul.